Alrighty, let's see if this is figured. If anyone has joined yet, just say something, just to make sure that we're up. All of that looks fine. The gain on the microphone is maybe a little bit too high. Let's see, compressor, limiter, line meters, night mode. No, all seems fine, I think. Alright, nice. Cool. Keen, hey, good day, good evening. You can hear me well, I suppose, so that's good. I hope so. Not much, man. Not been with my kid outside. Took him to some workshop thing, and I'm gonna just do a quick stream. Hi, Donzokic. Hey, good man, good. Just been out. Took my son out, and been there for a while, and yeah. Now I'm with you guys for 2.5 hours. Just yeah, trying to enjoy my Sunday. Hopefully it's the same for you, man. Just put that there, maybe. All right, cool. Yeah, let's get started slowly. So thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Likewise. So let's kind of figure out what it is that I want to do today. I have some plan. I had a chat with AI, so it's a good plan, but I was just also thinking, let me actually just pin the platform. Give me 1 second. Website. Just pin this. Yes, sure. Nice, great. Okay, so that's pinned. Okay, so yeah. So there's a couple of features missing from this thing, and I think also requires a bit of more testing. So I wonder if I want to do that today or do something else. Because what we're missing for this meetups feature to be do you have any idea about event driven? I mean, you need to be more specific. Of course I have an idea, but you need to be more specific. Most of the things on the internet are event driven. Yeah, okay. Then I had this plan with the AI, basically building this re-engagement tables and then creating some cron jobs and stuff like that. I think that could potentially be fun to do. To kind of try to re-engage people back into the platform. Let me just maybe add what I know for sure is that we have users who never completed their profiles, 2 users that haven't logged in years. These could be a potential also for some re-engagement. Urosh. Well, Urosh, if you're here, hi there. I don't know if he's here, but somebody joined the Discord channel, so. Okay, so we could kind of start the stream today with this, also adding the AppSmith to our current Docker Compose and then adding it to our Kubernetes as well. So, yeah, so that could be something we could kind of get very far in this stream with. So adding an AppSmith and okay, do you mean in general what this stream is about, or what this specific stream is going to be about? Because this specific stream is going to be about just doing a little bit of infrastructure and adding more cron jobs to re-engage people to programmer network platform. So meaning, you know, we have 2,500 people here signed up. So figuring out how can I get them in to post, to do things, etc. Right? Because we have, and also I see that this is broken as well. Wow, that is weird, really? So that's also a huge regression there. Okay, never mind. So it's something to do with, no, it's not. Okay. So this stream, I'm actually trying to, well, we just started the stream like 10 minutes ago. So I'm trying to kind of plan it, what I want to do. Vax, hey buddy, good to see you again. Thank you very much for coming. So basically what we're going to do, as you can see, we want to, because I don't want to be where I'm trying to build a platform with a minimum COGS, meaning cost of goods sold. So I don't want to introduce any services that we have to pay for. So we need to kind of, so this type of stuff you would solve using things such as customer IO and platforms like this, but I don't want to add this, right? Because it's like $50 a month. So this stream, what we're probably going to do, we're going to create this re-engagement log. We're going to create some tables so we can see how often people use our programmer network platform, and then also create some sort of, you could say, campaigns to re-engage them, like, hey, you know, you haven't logged in you know, or when you sign up, we send some additional email a day later saying, hey, how about you share your first thought or whatever. So we could do this today. That's kind of, let's actually take a look at the latest things I wrote in the actual backlog while I was streaming. Okay, so let me just think a little bit here. Is this what I want to do? Maybe. Reda Vatox, hey, good to see you. Thank you very much for coming. I'm sorry, my baby is crying. I don't know if you can hear that, but my wife is on it. Yeah, I mean, you could say that this would add. You don't hear anything. You should be able to hear something, eh? Yeah, so this you could say could be a little performance bottleneck, just a little one. Yeah, so this is basically our own internal tracking, you could say. So something way more efficient would be just to use some sort of a tracking thing. So yeah, this adds a lot of yeah, so we're using set immediate, which is fine. So almost like, yeah, okay, user segmentation, user created text not seen in X days, created thought but no articles for weekly. Digest campaign should send the email, check if campaign already sent or to a recent record, send campaign. What exactly are you working on, Reda? Like, give us more details. Andy, good day, friend. I'm very good, man. Just been with my kid outside for like 4 hours, and now I'm gonna hang out a little bit with you guys. I'm just figuring out what it is that I want to do in this stream, what it is that I want to improve today. So this could be kind of a good thing, but I'm not sure though. Oh, I see. Apparently, the only way to prevent downloaders is using DRM. Yeah, I mean, yeah. To be very frank with you, I don't think I've ever had to do that because I never worked on a product like that. But I also think that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm just thinking about what you said. You can't ever fully prevent it. That's the thing, right? So it's basically just damage control in a way, right? It's like, how can I like, what can I do to you know, no, there is none. Yeah. No, Kane. I mean, absolutely, man. Just really, no worries. You cannot offend me. I'm not a snowflake. You can ask whatever you want. Exactly right. Pretty much exactly. Yeah, it is. Definitely it is. Yeah, I mean, let's execute this plan. Let's execute this plan and let's see where it takes us. Let's start with something. Let's start with something for sure, and let's see where it takes us. So let's kind of see about that a bit. And then I'll explain as we go what we're doing, why we're doing that, etc., etc. Yeah. So we're gonna set up AppSmith. Again, I used to have it before, then I ditched it. So we're gonna set up AppSmith as part of our Docker Compose. We're gonna build some of these re-engagement tables and an API resource to basically track what people are, not track as in like a Google Analytics tracking, but you know, just to get the insights. You know, do people even log in, programming network, and blah 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 blah, and other things. And then some re-engagement jobs, some cron jobs, some event-based, like we are using BullMQ, which is our event-based system, right? So we want to be able to say, hey, Andy, you haven't logged in X, right? You know, this is what we've done past Y, whatever, right? So we're going to generate a bunch of this crap, then we're going to review it, battle test it, and stuff like that. Otherwise, it would take us probably 2 days of just writing this if you're not using AI, right? So it's creating some migration tables, very good. Adding last activity to the user table. For doing the migration for the existing records of users, so saying, hey, update the user and set the last activity to create that where last activity is null. Add index and last activity for efficient queries, sure. Remove index, okay, this is just for the down, we don't care. Actually, let's gradually keep reviewing as the AI is generating this stuff. So if the table already exists, avoid the migration, otherwise create a new table with this is JSON-B, which kind of makes it incredibly extensible, right? So we don't have to worry about enums and stuff like that. Add the index to the user ID, makes sense to send that as well. And then we have a composite constraint to prevent duplicate campaigns. Sure, exactly. And the composite key is made of user ID and campaign type. So that's very important in this context, as we don't want to be able to send the same notification, for example, to the same person. Okay, let's see what else. So we have a model. We have an interface, very good. We have a SQLized model, which looks email opened, field email opened. And then we have association, a log belongs to a user, foreign key user ID. Okay, also correct, no complaints here. these comments are completely useless, but that's what AI does, writes useless comments. Then we have some constants. We have campaign type. So basically this is like, hey, send user email after the 1 day, 3 and 7 days. If they don't complete their profile, send them day 2 and 7. Inactive user, long-term, dormant. Yeah, so this is very extensible because we handle it on this layer, not on the database layer, so that's fine. Yeah, I also like this. It's very, very declarative. That's good. Spam prevention, minimum days between any 2 emails to the same user, 2. Maximum emails per month, 10. Can you use triggers, Dorem? Yeah, most likely. I believe that SQLize has triggers, yes. But this has very little to do with that. SendGrid template IDs. And then we have some another JSON validator schemas essentially, right? So we have just our API route-based validation stuff, and then we use typebox down here. Actually, it hasn't really created any typebox type of stuff. Actually, it did, and I actually like this. So there's a schema, physical schema, and then the inference of that schema. So here's the type. Okay, I like it. So it's following my agent's MD file, so it's doing a very good job there. And then there's a massive service, basically that, yeah, I expected would kind of have some inconsistencies with types, so it's not too bad. So we'll have to kind of fix that, and we'll have to review it. So we have re-exported the models. How do you personally handle those strategy notes? I don't keep those notes. I mean, those notes are something that I write myself, or I mean, it generates it, and then I, you know, like review them and stuff like that. So there's no point in keeping them. Even though now when you say it, I mean, you could say that actually strategically it wouldn't even be terrible to keep them, right? So when I think about it, it's like, yeah, maybe it would make sense to say, hey, because now we rely on AI so much today, you know, maybe it would be, you know, interesting to you know, to keep them around, because then, you know, you can see, okay, based on this prompt or based on these instructions, based on this spec, this yielded these results. But again, that's never gonna work, right? Because I never took code from AI and fully just accepted it, right? So that would only be useful if AI generates something and it's just perfect. But we know it's never perfect, right? So no, I think keeping them would make no sense, because you can see I know that I'm going to change a bunch of this stuff and refine, because the point of AI here isn't to solve it all for me, it's to execute my architectural plan. And then I need to still, of course, you know, you can see it failed in so many places already that I can see. So that is, yeah, that is pretty terrible, right? It kind of ignored a lot of my instructions already, and this I already see this is absolutely disgusting here, right? So I can already see I'm gonna have to change a lot of stuff, which means that these initial instructions are already gonna be out of sync unless I write more instructions, which makes no sense. I mean, again, there are certain things that AI is going to do very fast, like this is going to generate a bunch of this boilerplate, if you may, based on my existing code, but then I have to jump in and fix things manually, right? Because you can see, like, it's clearly ignoring the instructions, right? Because I would never accept code like where I cast types like this. That is just a disgusting piece of code, right? But again, to say that it's not amazing, of course it's amazing. This AI is awesome, and this is fascinating. Like, it just saved me hours of manually typing this crap. But that doesn't mean that, you know, it's just done. It's not done. It's far from done, right? It's very far from done. And that is kind of, you can't expect, if you're one can't have an expectation that it's gonna do like everything perfectly, and that's not the, it doesn't have to, right? For me, it's literally just regex on steroids, and as I call it, and you know, that's kind of what I use it for, just to save. No, it's I mean, I don't think it's a matter of opinion. It's just factual thing. I mean, literally, just the mere physical key presses you have to do to write all of this code, it's impossible to beat that. I mean, look how much, and this code, again, is not like randomly generated code. It is the code that it generated off of my existing code. So it follows things that I do already, blah, 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 right? So it's not like, oh, this is something opinionated by AI. No, it's not opinionated at all, actually. It did most things that I would do myself, but now we have to, you know, I mean, are you a fan or not? And I'm sorry, but it actually doesn't matter at all. I'm a very pragmatic person, right? And there's nothing here that's even questionable, right? This tool is absolutely amazing, and if there's only two reasons why somebody would disagree with that. You either are deceiving yourself or you're not using it properly, right? So there's absolutely, it's uncomparable. It's uncomparable what you can achieve, and then focus on the details, right? Because none of this code that has been yeah, but it doesn't matter. We will go and we're gonna fix the details, right? So that's not what we are expecting from this tool. We're expecting from this tool to get us 80% there, right? And then, yeah, so for sure, right? Then we can spend our time with details instead of generating this boilerplate, because most of the CRUD code in every single platform on earth is just a bunch of boilerplate with different names, right? So instead of /users, you have /apples, right? But most code, there's nothing fascinating about it. It's like talk to some databases or some services, get some data, do something with that data, respond, right? So that sort of stuff I never in my career want to write manually. Well, I mean, if I knew that it's gonna nest them, I would have given it. You're now being a little bit, it's impossible to predict every single thing it's gonna do, right? I mean, I could have also said, don't make it, do anything that I wouldn't like it, right? So I mean, you know, like, you could have said it, well, if I knew that it's gonna do it, I would have said it, right? So, and we're gonna tell it now, right? And it's gonna fix it. Okay, let's see basically. So it generated a bunch of stuff, which looks decent, I would say. I've never had it generate nested try catches. This is the first time I see this. I don't think that AI is a matter of discussion anymore. I think these discussions should just stop. I don't think we should be even. That's not even a discussion, I must say, anymore, right? If people by now haven't noticed the value of AI, then I am genuinely concerned for people. Yeah, I mean, actually, I deeply dislike this code. I deeply dislike this code, and we'll need to rework it a bit, and that's fine. But I would say this is pretty terrible. Yeah, This is pretty terrible. Okay, and we need to kind of be a little bit passive aggressive with AI here. So this entire file, the way it's organized, the way you formatted the code is simply terrible. Business logic is all over the place. Function flattened with the entire logic, etc. The thing is, I mean, for me, again, as I'm saying, I don't, as long as it can save a lot of time, like a physical, literally, like writing characters type of time, I'm great. Even when it miserably fails, as it just failed, which it did, for example, this file is a clear, this file is a clear indicator that it can in fact fail, and that is fine, right? I mean, as long as you have the competency and knowledge and understanding when it does that, and in order to have that, you need to be a programmer, right? So it's not it should not be a problem for us, right? So you can see, like, you just look at the code and say, fuck, this is a pretty shitty code. Fine, you go and you tell it, hey, fix it, and that is the thing, it will fix it, right? So you know, it's still a text matching algorithm at the end of the day, right? So we can't expect too much off of it, like, oh, because if the AI did what we are expecting it to do today, most of us wouldn't have jobs at the first place, right? So, you know, I would say be careful what you wish for, right? Because at the end of the day, if what we are wishing for happens, then we're all collectively fucked, right? All right, so yeah, so the other thing that I see is just, yeah, this is not good, not good. Okay, let's kind of do this. As the number of queues in our API are now growing, and we will be adding more, this file structure is no longer maintainable. Let's encapsulate our queues in each individual folder, just as we are doing with API, and ensure that we do some sort of similar domain-driven design, meaning breaking out utils, classes, etc. Let's start with re-engagement worker and then move on to others. Because you can see, fundamentally, this is just too much for a single file. There's interfaces in here, there's types in here, there's utility functions, there's a lot of crap, right? So when you come to this worker, you don't know what the hell are you looking at, especially if you are reading the file top down, right? Yeah, bottom down. Sorry, top down. Yeah, I said it well. So we can't have this, and it's fine, right? You don't have to prematurely mega organize everything. Now I'm seeing that we're gonna be adding more and more of those, and I think it's just the time now that we separate these queues, these definitions into Okay. So we're gonna do that now and see what it yields, and then we're gonna fix these errors, and then we're gonna also run our Docker compose. The only thing is AppSmith running on MongoDB? That's what I don't like. Let me actually ask, can I run AppSmith locally without MongoDB? Can it use Postgres as a DB storage? Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess we'll see how much overhead that adds to our infrastructure, right? Okay, let's see the implementation plan. So yes, very good. I like the structure, very, very different. All right, let's do it. That sounds very good. And then we'll see where it gets us from here. Yeah. Okay. Nice. And again, it's kind of a shame to some degree that we're even building some of this, because there are many amazing products out there like Customer IO and, you know, combination with Retool and AppSmith and stuff. But again, as this project is forever going to aim to be self-sustained, even if it becomes something big one day, I want to make sure that we're not paying for things, because in order to pay for things, you need to make money. And once that necessity of making money starts, then you need to make decisions for the sake of that, and not for the sake of actually wanting to build something that, yeah. Yeah, that is better for sure. Yeah, that is better, I would say. Yeah, that is certainly better. Yes. Then we have a centralized place where we import and export things. I also like that. Okay, now it's just kind of refactoring things that we already have that work. I like that a lot. So this is going to be, and then we're going to revisit the structure systematically, you can say, but I already think that it's good. I like it. Not much to complain about there. And then we probably should update our yeah. Simp, good to see you again, friend. Good evening. David, thank you very much, David, for the follow, man. Good to have you. Good to have you on the stream. Hope you're doing well. Okay, and then yeah, this is the sitemap generator. So these are the things that we already have that already work, and that's fine. But of course, yeah, now we are kind of organizing them a little bit better. So yeah, Bounty, my friend. Hey there. Thank you for coming, man. Export queue names as constants, sure. Also a little bit nicer structured now. Yes, 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 sure. How is live, Bounty? How is everything, man? And there we go. We have the queues here now, nicely exported from a centralized place. So it's a systematic solution, and that's really all that we care about. So now even with the AI, it will understand next time we need to generate some queue code that we don't want to write manually. We can say, hey, this is how our queue manager works. Nice, man. Yeah, that's isn't that our job every day? Fixing things because we became better over time and understood, oh, I can do this way, right? So we have a queue manager here. It's fully typed and stuff, so very nice. Yes, I like it a lot. Very, very good. Very nice. I am a very much a perfectionist, so let's ensure that this is truly awesome. So we have our models here. We have some options. I mean, you could say that... Okay, I mean, I have some ideas there, but please stop with these useless comments. Very nice, very nice. Ah, so nice. Okay, very happy with that. Very happy with that. Of course, like when it comes to the new queues we've created, when it comes to the new queues we've created, more specifically a re-engagement one, of course, we need to test that. That's obviously far from being marked as done. And so this basically thing is getting the users that signed up between a certain range, get users that are inactive for a given time, so last activity add, cutoff date. I don't know what is we cannot have this crap, man. So let's just tell it here. While we have clearly stated in our agents MD that manual casting or usage of any unknown is not allowed, you've still done a poor job there. Let's ensure that there is not a single place where we manually cast, as that implies that we are failing elsewhere. Then we also have a course model here for what? Get users without courses. Oh, I see what's happening there. Sure. Do you have some sort of markdown import for articles and program network? No, but that thing is on to do for a very long time, both import from dev.to platform and markdown. I mean, one thing that is at least useful is that you can manually, I believe, paste markdown and it's going to work. But I think we could build that import very, very quickly. We could build that import very, very quickly. Mainly because TipTap.js that we use already supports markdown, right? So for us, technically, it would be, yeah, it would be fairly simple, yeah. I don't know why it's not listening to some of these instructions, why it does what it does. It makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, super weird, man. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Very, very annoying. I don't think Andy that's gonna happen. No, no, not really. I'm using TipTap, so not Markdown per se, and that is simply a yeah, conscious decision, technical decision. So I don't think that I will be implementing, you know, like a Markdown editor or anything like that. TipTap is objectively the most complete editor there, especially if we would add some extra features, right? So, but again, as I said, you can paste Markdown in there and it's gonna work. You can actually use Markdown in there. So if you go to Programmer Network and you try to write a new article, right? You can press hash and then you're gonna get to H1. You can do 2 of those, right? I think you should be able, yeah. So 3 of them, right? So you can type as Markdown and you can also paste Markdown. So there's really nothing to switch between. Markdown is supported out of the box, right? So so I would say it already is there, right? Oh, did I mess up the... Yeah, crap, dude, that sucks. Okay, wait. Okay, we'll need to kind of... Yeah, that's a regression that we introduced. Okay. But I said, and manual casting is not allowed. What are you doing? Okay, let's see. Get campaign stats, campaign type, do the count, total sent. Yeah, it's probably gonna do just the raw query now. Yeah, exactly. Which is fine. Like, it was trying to enforce the usage of the ORM at the first place, and that is the beautiful part about not needing to do the ORM type stuff if you don't have to do it. So this query is actually way simpler now than it was before, right? So it's kind of funny that sometimes SQL is actually just simpler than reading all of that gibberish, right? Which is kind of crazy if you think about it, right? What do you think about CLI tools? If you're referring to the AI CLI tools, I mean, it can be useful for some things, but there's really no difference. For example, things that it can be useful for is, let's say, you're doing a very silly global search and replace that's not fully easily possible just using regex, right? So for these types of things, I leave it in the background and I just do other things, but typically no. I mean, again, if you're a programmer, you have to do, you can see like we have generated something in like 3 minutes and then we're gonna spend an hour going through it and making sure it's correct. So you know, like, even though I'm obviously using AI, as you can see, I spend way more time than going through it and making sure that it's correct. So, and the CLI tools typically, yeah, they typically are even more random than this, which means, you know, you often just oversee some things that you shouldn't have done, right? But I mean, there are some tasks where you can use the CLI. Again, like a very arbitrary task. You're like doing a massive refactor on thousands of files, and you want it to replace certain things, blah blah. I've seen it work for that, fine, because it's just a very dumb task. Actually, this error is quite it's quite weird. Enroll into what? Into the meetups? Yeah, fuck man, I did a huge refactor recently. Masta, hey buddy, you mean enroll into the meetup? Shit. Yeah, you can't. So exactly. So look. So I think that AI is amazing if you know architecturally how to program in the first place. I think. Oh, the courses. Okay, into my course. Yeah, I would expect that. I haven't. To be very frank with you, some of these features I built, I regret building them because I don't know. I mean, of course I never spent a single minute like. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that people will even click that, to be very honest with you, because you can see I'm the only one who ever built any course. So we'll fix that. I'll go into it, Andy, and check it out. But I can actually see the error that you got here. So it's probably some regression and stuff. So we'll fix that, no problem. Very easy. It's just yeah. Okay, but where was I? Let's just solve this first before we yeah, and then we have this. Very good, man. Very good. Now we're 4. I have, you know, Nikolai, my older son. He's 6.5. We have a new baby. He is 3.5 months. So that is probably the largest change. And besides that, not much, man. Work. I haven't streamed in like a year or something. So I came back recently to stream a little bit. For how long? I actually don't know. For as long as it's fun. And you know. Yeah, that kind of sums it up, to be honest. Thank you very much, man. Thanks. But yeah, I'm here now with you guys again, and yeah, for sure I feel like streaming again. But you know, as I always say, stream has to go both ways. So if I see that people are interested, I come and stream. If I see that they're not interested, well, I simply don't stream, and that's kind of it. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's likewise, man. I like streaming and stuff like that, and it's fun. But you know, there's a many other things in life that are fun. So you know, it's kind of. This is just one of the choices I often decide to make. Okay, maybe I could stream again, or you know, or maybe I could do 20 other things that are also fun. So it's kind of you know. But good to see you again, man. Good to see you again. Okay, let's get into this bad boy here. I mean, honestly, to be very honest with you, I think this is good. I think this is very good. And considering we will probably never going to be paying any external service like customer IO or whatever, you could say the reason why this is good is because is because it's very systematic, right? So even though we don't have an external graphical user interface type of tool, which again, yeah, in these circumstances, you don't want to be spending time. Like, this is not a feature that's worth building, right, at all. So fundamentally, you don't want to, ideally, if you don't have to, you don't want to spend time on this. But I believe that because of the nature of how this turned out, which is process campaign, so we have a processor and whatever, send interactive email, get interactive users. I suppose that should send email. So we have this utility, and then we have the send email here, defined in here, which is a little bit weird. You could say we could centralize this thing, and we probably should centralize this thing. So that's another thing we should fiddle, right? But you can see here that, so we have our email kind of config for SendGrid. So of course I'm gonna move away from SendGrid soon. And then here we have the dynamic date, blah, 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 and then template ID, which essentially comes from the campaign type here. So if we go in here, you're gonna see there's a campaign type. So these are the kind of the, yeah, so these are IDs. We can see they're not correct. So I'll have to go literally now into SendGrid and create each one of these templates on their own. Actually, we're gonna generate them with AI, of course, not gonna be writing tables for email design. So, but yeah, here we're gonna have these like SendGrid. I'm not refactoring anything. I'm building new features. So I'm building, basically, I'm adding more cron jobs, more events, to try to get people who haven't logged in to Programmer Network in a long time to come back and do so, but also to send some emails. You know, you sign up, and then after a day you get an email, after whatever. So this is more of like you know, in a product management, this would be called external bumpers, like trying to remind people that we even exist, right? Because, you know, we have 2,500 users signed up on Programmer Network, and I don't know, a few of them log in every now and then, right? So yeah, so this is very good, because in the future, basically, we just add another kind of scheduler here, and systematically it's very, very nice, right? You can see here that yeah, we would. So yeah, we have a system now, and that's all that matters. The only thing that I saw now whatsoever is that, yeah, you could say we could move this send email elsewhere. Because, yeah, certainly we'll be doing this for maybe other things, but it's okay. It's still an abstraction over our client thing here, so that's okay. It's not bad or anything like that. But again, I'm just saying you could say it could be better. And then we add some UTM parameters here, so that's fine, even though it feels a bit weird. And let's do this. No casting, let's improve that. Code with Josh. Josh, good to see you, buddy. So let's kind of just go through these things. This also we have a utility for, so this kind of success. So let's say const message is error. Ah, shit. Wait a minute. Keep all. Oh my god. No. Okay. Oh, all right. I mean, yeah, that doesn't really belong there, my friend, but okay. All right. I mean, yeah. That doesn't really belong there. Josh, we're just doing some engagement type of tables and stuff, so we can kind of ask users to come and visit us again, right? Because that's the problem. I mean, there's obviously this platform isn't like solving any concrete problem for people on Earth, so of course I'm not expecting people to just randomly come here and not go to Twitter or whatever, right? But I feel there are several methods in here which don't really belong inside a... Wait a minute, am I linking to the right file? No, no, no. Or am I? Wait, I thought it was there. Huh, interesting. Yeah, it is the service, okay. Actually, you know what? Let me actually, give me a second. So this is a constant here, right? Yeah. I mean... yeah, it doesn't really belong here, sure. But I mean... yeah, let's... it's okay. I think it's okay. Let's just skim through the other things. I mean, the infrastructure of this is really good. I mean, I'll need to, of course, we'll need to, but I would say that the infrastructure for this is pretty good, I would say. So yeah, so from a technical standpoint, I think things are fine. From some other perspectives, no, not so much. Yeah. And actually, ironically, things work. Did it actually include oh, I see. Okay, good. Because this is in fact internal, so there's no routes to this is not a public router on the API level, right? These are all services used internally to kind of you could say support existing features. So that's fine. There's no router, and that is in fact correct. Okay, so now in theory, if we also go to our Docker Compose and look for AppSmith, I mean, we could try running our infrastructure again here. So let's say, let's see if we just try pulling these new images. So we're gonna need MongoDB for this, which I dislike, but that's what it is. And then we need their UI itself. And then also you could say we need to figure out Actually, no, it's fine. It's okay. Never mind. Yeah, this is a huge image, like 1.5 gigs. I don't know what the hell do they put in there, but let's take a look at that. Replica set not enabled. How do we enable replica set, or why do we have to for the AppSmith? Cosmic, thank you very much for the follow, man. Good to have you here. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's take a look at that. I'm gonna pretend for a moment to understand what we've done. I don't, but we'll fix it. It's okay. All right, so it seems to be initializing now properly. Yeah, it seems to be initializing properly. And there's a lot of thing there initializing, Jesus Christ. And then here's the AppSmith running on port 8080. And what the hell? And one thing that I've noticed, of course, is that we, of course, haven't done any production labels for AppSmith, right? So we'll need to do that as well. So essentially two things: we can't expose this right now the way that we are, and second, we need to make sure that it's logged behind our reverse proxy behind traffic. Then we actually, okay, that's weird. Okay, let's take a look at it now. So now we should be able to, for example, connect directly to our Postgres, our development Postgres server. They should be on the same backend in the Docker network. So if we do this now, go to configurations, actually probably edit the connection, database name users, no. So let's create a new data source here, Postgres. Let's call it pn dev standard read only. What would be the maybe we can just use the host name here. So Postgres and give me 1 second, let me just check the give me a second. Postgres. Okay. So actually it's database dev, and then username is Postgres, All right, it worked. Nice, 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 super. Okay, so now because we've connected our data source here, right, we can already kind of getting all the queries and stuff like that, right? So that's very good. So for example, I can go new query, and yeah, I can do this, for instance, but then we can start making our internal dashboards, right? So we can say select all from, let's say public.user where ID is 0. Oops. Okay, let's actually remove the... So yeah, we're good, that works. And of course, hopefully it's gonna work in production as well. But now if we go to back here, if we go edit, we now should be able to do a bit of UI stuff. So for example, we can say table, and then we can connect the data. We can say query 1. And we can say public article, title, for example, connect data. So this is what we're going to be using AppSmith for in production as well. So for our internal dashboards, so we can actually see what people are doing for data management and stuff like that, because you never, even in insanity, want to build these things manually, because they provide no feature to anyone except yourself for kind of managing the platform and stuff like that, right? So okay, so that kind of worked out of the box, you could say. So let's now say, okay, AppSmith works locally in development. Let's now finalize the setup with our Docker Compose and compose production labels. Put it behind reverse. Put it behind the traffic. Okay. Grizzly, thank you very much, buddy, for the follow. Appreciate it. And I also need to go to my DNS and create the A record, right, or the CNAME record or whatever. We'll see here. I'll probably call this internal.add programmer.network, whatever, but that doesn't matter. I don't know why is it writing this crap, man. So we have the basic auth, AppSmith basic users. I mean, I think what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna do the same stuff that I've done with the glitch basic setup. So it's gonna reuse the same password, just so I don't. These are just internal dashboards for me, not for the users. Yeah. So in simple words, these are the internal dashboards of the platform, so I can check the activity. I can maybe remove some unwanted content and stuff like that, right? Okay, very, very good. That's very good. That's really what our reverse proxy is supposed to do. So very good. We have the dashboards now. If we take a look at the networking, profiles, production, networks, backend and frontend. I don't know why that is whatsoever. Resources, 1 CPU. Yeah, that's a lot of memory for this crap. Yeah, that's a lot of memory for this crap. And then we'll need these environmental variables. I actually need to read their documentation, but we'll need to generate these things. So we'll need some environmental variables there. We're gonna need them most likely for MongoDB here as well. And I'm kind of sad that we have to use MongoDB just for this crap. And you know, waste resources on that, but that's fine. It's created some volumes. So I hope it created them down there as well. It did. Okay, so that is good. Actually, let me take a look at one thing. I don't know if our bullmq board is still working. I don't think it is for some reason though. But it would be nice to actually check that as well. CodeForge, good day, friend. Another thing that I saw now that I'm just gonna do is that these timestamps that AI generates are quite wrong. So what I'm actually gonna do here, I'm gonna say migration whatever. I'm gonna generate new ones and then copy paste stuff. Or actually, let's see. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say, hey, add last activity to users. Okay. Nice. And then I'm gonna do the same with this bad boy here. What do we have? Yes, sure. Yep. Because this goes to this meta table that we have in the database, so we next time when we deploy, we know which migrations we have to run, right? So cool. That's good. Let's actually try running these migrations now. So let's say migrate. Maybe source env, and then try again. Okay, nice. So it did run both migrations successfully. So if we take a look at the tables, so if we take a look at the user table, for instance, user, so we should see last activity at field somewhere, and here it is. So that's very good. So that is good. And what else did we migrate? What else did we create? And I believe we've created a new table. Yeah, create re-engagement log table, right? So if we also take a look at the database, if we refresh these tables, we should see, yeah, user re-engagement log. Here it is. And let's actually see if I go a bit through the app now, if it still works. I think that should kind of, so if I go and let's actually see a user, no, but I think I'm referring rather to the log itself. So if we actually take a user table now and look at my own user here, last activity at, last login at, okay, let me try to do like testing the new re-engagement table. I wonder if I saw correctly, we should now log this operation that, hey, I've actually left a thought. No, it's actually fine. It's actually fine. It's okay. It is okay. Okay, good. The only thing that I'm, a little bit mixed about is this, right? So we're saying if the user is logged in, for every action they do, for every request they send, and I actually don't think that's necessarily bad per se, right? Because, or is it though, right? Let's see. Because technically now, if we get over what's happening there? What? Okay. So if I do something now as a logged in user, updating the activity. Okay, so what if I do like this? Okay, request hook called. Am I actually logged in? I am. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. So request user is Dimi. Oh my god, he's alive. Good to see you, man, again. How's life? So for some reason here, we're not really getting the user, which is weird. Nice, man. Nice. So you're learning something new. That's very good. And we are logged in, right? Yep. Exactly. Yep. So it's basically we were. Yeah. Okay. Let's try that. How is life in general, Dimi? No, this is not gonna work actually, I think. No complaints. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, sure, this is fine. It's just a bit silly though. It's a bit silly. Best. Yeah, I don't think this will work because we at no point deserialize a user on the request object. That's typically what we do with some of our decorators. So no matter which state of the request response life cycle hook you hook into, in this context it will always be now, I think. Exactly, yep. Exactly. Shut the fuck up, AI. You suck. Okay. You are duplicating the same code twice. Let's turn that into a function. Yeah. Track user activity. Nice. Okay. Cool. All right, let's try. That is good, and I think if we take a look at the table now, should be updated, right? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that though. Wait, let's get this timestamp and let's click around, and then let's take a look at it again. Yeah, okay, so that did work, in fact. Okay, so that apparently did work. Last activity at. So am I logged in as a different user or something? Oh, I am most. Am I? All right, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. Okay, exactly. So now what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna log into our SendGrid. We need to create a bunch of these other templates. Obviously, we're not going to do that manually, not even in Insanity. So we'll use AI for that as well. And let me just log in. GDT, hey buddy, good to see you. Thank you for coming, man. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm gonna give it some template we already have. So let's give it this one. And then obviously we're gonna use the AI to generate the rest of the templates for us. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go here. So given this specific template for one of our other jobs, generate all of the templates for the following emails. Then I will save them into SendGrid and provide template IDs. How is life, GDT? How are you? So that's kind of what we're gonna do. So now we gave AI some model to and then here we're gonna create a couple of dynamic templates. Welcome day one, we're gonna basically call it like this, even though that's not gonna really matter because we're gonna get a different ID like this. What tone style should each campaign have? Okay. Pick whatever, I don't care. We are a nerd, geek, programmer, platform, whatever fits best. All right, cool. Cool. So we're gonna actually grab a template ID here for a welcome one day. Yep. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Incomplete profile. Incomplete profile reminder. Yeah, I'm not sure about those. We'll see about those. Courses. Meetups, yeah. Okay, so it's actually storing these templates, which honestly, yeah, is fine. I guess we can nuke that. Okay, welcome one day. So let's kind of start getting those into the platform. So this is this one. So add version. we're gonna do blank template, I suppose. Code editor. I'm gonna paste this bad boy here. And of course, this is by no means complete or anything, but let's just kind of have a good like a get somewhere, right? With so yeah, something like that. So that's at least a good template. So let's go back, and then I'll probably off stream at one point, just yeah, just improve those visually and stuff. It's certainly not something I want to do now. Hi, username. Okay. Okay, that's nice. Let's save it. This is gonna require some testing and stuff like that, so that is fine. No, that's actually, yeah, not true, any of that, but it's fine. Incomplete profile. Incomplete profile. Oh shit, that's the wrong one, I think. It's this one, yeah. Sure. Inactive 14 days. Yeah, actually this design kind of sucks when I look at it, but I don't think it matters right now. Meetups. I think that's the last one, yeah. That is the last one. Nice. Cool. Alrighty. So yeah, I think that's good. I don't know why it generates all of these shitty markdown files though, but whatever. That's a lot of email templates. Yeah, my dude. It is, and yeah, that is kind of the point of this task I'm trying to do today and probably tomorrow off stream. Is just try to, you know, as I build these things and try to engage people that used to kind of be around and stuff, just to, you know, there's so many platforms today and most of them, including our own, kind of suck. So you could say, like, trying to re-engage people to at least come and say, hey Alex, what's up, man? How's stuff going? Very good, man. Very good. I got a new child. He's 3 months old, so now we're 4. So my Nikolai, my older one, he's 6.5, and Dosite, he's 3.5 months. So amazing, man. What can I say? Can't complain. I have a beautiful family, awesome work, amazing hobbies. So nothing I could ask for anymore. If life can remain as is, I would say nothing else has to change ever. So I would say very, very good, man. Once you have family and stuff, then everything else falls into 50th place. Thank you, man. Thanks a lot. And I actually think I'm gonna even leave these templates here, because I'll definitely be moving away from SendGrid to something else. So we'll need these templates anyway. In fact, I'll probably off stream take all the other templates I already have, adjust them so they look the same, blah blah blah. Because we'll need, I'll probably be moving to Amazon SCS, like a simple email service. Or even this resend, which has like 3,000 emails a month for free, and we're not sending 3,000 emails a month now, so that could also be an option. Because now I'm paying for SendGrid like, I think it's $20 a month or something like that, which is more than our hosting bill. Okay, so that went well, I think. I mean, I can't fully test it now, and I also need to make some decisions here, what will happen and what not, because of course we still have features like courses and stuff that aren't really complete. So reminding people to come and check them out would be quite silly, actually. And I don't know if we have introduced a regression, but I can see that. Let's take a look at the UI a bit. Notifications, bell, notification content. Interesting. So that should not have done anything really to mess it up. Let me actually go to localhost, but let me open incognito here. Let me actually log in with a different account. Let's try this one in incognito. Password, I believe. Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm gonna actually follow. Actually gonna unfollow and follow myself. And then if I go back here. Okay, interesting. So notifications do work. So what the hell happened in production? That's so weird. Okay. Or maybe, oh, wait a minute. Okay, maybe it is a regression. Wait, shit, maybe that's good. Maybe it's good that it happened, because I think this is a very specific type of case that we're maybe not handling. Like on like. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so actually let's give this to the AI and let's try to solve it, because that's very good. I built this system very, very long ago. So this is the payload from one of our notifications. The UI is, as you can see on the screenshot, generating an empty notification because it doesn't seem we are handling that case properly. Take a look at the API and then also our UI notifications. And let's figure it out. Access P, thank you very much for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Sure. Yeah. Show generic messages like your like. Okay, so as far as I understand, maybe the issue that's currently in that the regression that happened, most likely I suppose, is that if I do this and then we switch here and then I switch back here. Yeah, exactly. So this is a regression. There's no like on like, so that's good. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that is a bug. I think I probably introduced that yesterday or whatever. So that's good. Let's see. And I'm just looking at this now. So write articles, sitemap, whatever. Yeah. And then stream ends there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay, cool. So now in theory, now it works, yeah. Exactly. Okay, good. So that was a regression, in fact. Yes, okay. Okay, sure. Get rid of that. Let's see all the stuff we've done. Get rid of that. Shit. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's correct. Correct. This is all new stuff, so technically we'll see. No, actually this is the refactor meter notification. Yeah, exactly. So the only maybe thing that I want to do at this point is if we go to setup queues, which is our kind of root file, I guess. And we also kind of have to refactor this thing. So let's actually go back to, let's take a look at our history here. And let's say here, we also have to break this file out at this point because this is no longer maintainable and structurally correct, right? Because we can't be smacking all of the queues here like this, I guess. We need to find a way to do that a bit better. And let's make sure correct. Let's discuss and figure out what to do and how to proceed. Exactly. So looking at setup queues, I can see the problem is becoming a bottleneck that knows too much about every queue's internal dependencies and setup details. This violates the encapsulation we just achieved, exactly. Move logic into each queue folder, correct. Each setup would accept only the dependencies it needs, create its own queue and worker, schedule recurring jobs if needed. Agreed? Yes. Yes. Queue retry. Create a registry that auto discovers and sets up queues. Each queue exports method data. Proceed with option 1. Very nice. Okay, I like that a lot. Exactly. Yes. Beautiful. Yep. Very good. Okay. Great. Very good. Yep. Very simple. Yes. Nice. Yes, exactly. Very good. Just exports that from the index as well. I mean, you could say these things could technically moved into the types, right? So I guess that's what we could in fact do. Oops, shit. So we could kind of do something like do that, right? Then do this, and that kind of makes it even more cleaner. Yep, very nice. Event driven. Okay, cool. Kind of same thing here in a way, right? We want to get these bad boys here. Just do these imports and then export the actual types. So we get over here and over here, right? Sure. Same thing here. Actually, you know what? I think it's way easier if I just do this and then this and then this and then this. Yeah. And then we export these guys. Do this. Correct. Okay, let me go and take a look. So we have the queue manager, we have the index here, worker, types, setup, yes. Wow, that's weird. Okay. Okay, cool. Are we still running? We seem to be, yeah. Okay, and if we now actually get here, now we kind of have a bit better abstraction here, encapsulation, right? So still, you could say, yeah, well, we still have a central file where we have to set up these queues differently, sure, but now they're more encapsulated and they get their own dependencies and stuff, whereas before it was not like that. So that's very good, I would say. Not much to say there. The only now thing that I'm finding a bit strange is why is our bullmq board kind of farting out? Yeah, I actually don't know. I would expect unless our Redis. Oh, actually, yeah, I think I know. I think I remember. Where is our Redis? Because I think right now we have AppSmith, glitch, blah 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 blah. Redis, where are you? Where are you? Redis traffic. Yeah, so I think the problem is the actual host or the service name, if you may. What was it? Bull dashboard, yeah. Redis, yeah, no, that's correct. Redis dev, Redis port, Redis password. Give me 1 second. Redis password. What is Redis for? Like, are you asking in general what the Redis as a service is, as a tool, or in the context of this project? We use it for everything. I use it for my notification system. I use it for caching a lot of things in the programming network platform, but also for the bullmq. So bullmq is our event-based scheduler, right? So just like RabbitMQ and stuff. So obviously for all sorts of things such as queues and stuff, you need something like Redis, right? You need something that can have some in-mem cache efficient store, right? So you can operate quickly on certain data, right? So in our context, yeah, we use Redis for nearly everything, and also additionally bullmq. Basically, this guy is also using Redis as well, right? So yeah. In this context, I think right now our Redis dev is just probably not exposing the port properly. I mean, this is not wrong, yeah, at all, but let's... Okay, let me actually, both of us work on this AI and I. Let's debug why my bullmq dashboard is not showing anything. Yeah, that's weird. So it's most likely not connecting to Redis. Let's take a look. I think I had a Redis connector somewhere here. Give me a second. Redis, or NoSQL or something like that. So it should kind of be working, right? Database. Okay, let's actually see first. But I really need to be able, because more of the scheduler is more event-based things we add, like easier it is to kind of visualize it, at least locally, even when we add new queues. So let's kind of see how it is. Actually, that's a good question. That's a good question AI is asking, right? Let's API, PNPM. Let's restart our container. And let's then check the logs again. Yeah, so we are getting them. Yeah. So that is slightly weird. Let me close this crap. Could not retrieve memory tasks. Yeah, and this is kind of so. Yeah, I kind of disagree with this. I don't think it has anything to do with this at all. So I think AI is wrong. Hmm. Yeah, maybe this is what we should be using, right? Am I using this now? Maybe we don't need that Docker image at all, actually. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Mm-hmm. You're using it in production. Very nice, man. That's good to hear. So you like it and stuff in production, like it works properly, etc. Okay, that's very good to hear, man. Thank you. That is very good to hear. Just gonna try one thing. Bear with me for a moment. I will literally try just to narrow down the problem to whatever it is actually. Yeah, so why is it... Yeah, for sure. Definitely with you. I'm just unsure. Why is it farting out here for me? PN Redis dev. Oops. What am I using? For any event-based stuff, or basically for things like scheduling subscriptions for notifications. So for example, in Programmer Network, we have this meetups feature, right? So I typically use this myself. So if you want to know when I stream, typically you can go join that meetup. And then when I organize a meetup event, you can go and subscribe to get notified about meeting. Then we queue these events, right? Then I also use it for sending certain campaigns and certain emails and stuff like that. So basically for you could say a large part is some sort of a cron job scheduler and things like that. Yeah, actually, I don't know, to be very honest with you, why it's not rendering anything. It's a bit weird. I mean, what we could do and what I've actually done, but I don't know what happened with that crap, is if we actually go to a database client and then we go to settings. We did actually have a Redis here as well. I actually don't know what happened to it. It's username Redis, I guess. I don't know. Give me 1 second. Oops. That's wrong. My bad. So yeah, so wait, give me 2 seconds. Redis host. Yeah, okay, so, interesting. So if you take a look at Redis, so you can see we do have some metadata of some of these workers, I suppose. Actually don't know what they are. Yeah. Is it heat.js? You mean my t-shirt? No, I don't know what heat.js is also. Is there really heat.js? What is that? But okay, it doesn't matter. I think I'll need to, yeah. I'll take a look at it. Heat.js, what? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, there is. Wow, okay. That is crazy. Okay, so I'll actually probably sometimes off stream I'll just go through these templates and yeah, they should sponsor the stream. I don't think you're yeah. I mean, considering I didn't even know that they exist up until a second ago, they wouldn't want the repository itself, right? Okay, so I mean, okay, good. Listen, good. So I would say that yeah, I'll figure some of these things out. I think what matters is that what we achieved this stream, you could say, is that yeah, we have kind of created some new strategy for reaching out to people, basically sending some emails to inactive people, blah blah blah. And I'm not gonna merge that yet. I need to think it through. But fundamentally, to recap that part, we have I have consolidated now some of the structure of our queues, because so far, yeah, we only had few, so we didn't want to prematurely organize it, if you may. But now essentially we have this central setup queues, and then now we have each one of these encapsulations, abstractions. So we have a sitemap, we have notifications, we have RSS sync, we have re-engagement, which is the new one that we've just done now. And then each one of these components basically is it's encapsulated in its own kind of little folder. So you can think about a little bit through like domain-driven design. And then we can see here that each one of these guys has its own setup and types and utils in the worker itself. And then, of course, here in the worker, this is where we are actually doing things. And then we have, for this one, we have something a little bit more unique, because we have, yeah, so this is kind of, yeah, you could say, is good or not, it doesn't matter. We could also write this more declaratively right now. That for loop is a bit strange, but it's fine. Of course, I'll need to test this new queue, but the rest of them should remain working the same. So if we go to the setup here, we create a queue, we create a worker, and then we add this guy to the queue. RSS sync, let's take a look at that. Kind of do the same. We sync the RSS feeds at 3 a.m. every day. So I think structurally, code-wise, I would say very easy to reason about, very easy to learn, and also very easy for the AI to pick up on it. So instead of now, of course, needing to explain this to the AI, let's give it this and say, now when we have structurally consolidated our queues and created an awesome system on how to add them, manage the workers, etc. Let's extend our agents file, so the next time we need to add a new queue, it will be clear what to do. And I think, yeah, I think that is all that matters often, right? The system that you often build, the system that you create in your product or project, as long as there is a system around it, right? You don't have to worry about what type of variant or a taste of domain-driven design it is, how these things are called, how you name your files. There's so many different ways to do it. It's just what matters is that it's systematic. So when you look at it, when you need to do it again, you just kind of know what you need to do almost in steps, right? So I'm just now telling the AI to update the instructions for its future use. So yeah. It's writing a bunch of crap, but it's okay. I think it's kind of over explaining there a little bit. Maybe we'll need to refine this file, because also we can't be adding so much context, I guess, to the prompts, but or maybe we can, who knows. Yeah, it's kind of writing the whole novel of who invented queues and stuff. Come on, man. Is this really necessary though? Okay, maybe it is necessary. Screw it. "800 lines, Jesus Christ." Okay, let's review it. The application uses BullMQ for backend job processing with Redis as the backing store. The queue system handles asynchronous tasks, schedule notifications, RSS, sitemap generation. Okay, I mean, sure. Okay, so far very good. Create queue, name queue, okay. Worker class, sure. Main job, process job, sure, yeah. Worker factory function, sure. Yeah, I think that is very good, yes, sure. Index file. Yeah, I mean, this is very good. It's almost like, yeah, it's kind of documentation for AI, but you could say also useful for humans. You could imagine. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's great. Okay, let's maybe am I using worker threads for the work? So, I mean, we can actually, I mean, since you're using BullMQ, I suppose at work, you can kind of help me review it and figure it out. But let me actually show you what we use right now. So if we take a look at the meetup notifications here, if we take a look at the worker here, let's find where it is. So this is kind of what, this is how we initialize the actual worker. So we have the queue name, we have the process binding here, and then we have the worker options. So this is basically what I do. Let's actually take a look at the queue manager here as well. So let's see, notification. Yeah, also this is a little bit weird. Why is this here? Notification ID. Thank you very much for the follow, guys. I appreciate it. Let's see the variation of the things that we actually have. So here we create a sitemap generation queue. The details of this job are irrelevant. I think maybe, yeah, meetup notifications are probably the most interesting here because the other things are just cron jobs pretty much. So what we actually do here, let's see. Fragile human being. Okay, now it's funny, you see. Now when you explained it, is funny. Fanrinen, if you're referring to what I'm building at this very moment, kind of almost done with that. We just built some re-engagement table, essentially just a bunch of event-driven jobs to send people reminders to check out the platform. But this stream is typically about, you know, building this platform. Yeah, actually, yeah, that is, you can actually go and sign up if you have a second. But that is what we build typically in this stream. And actually, I want to do a commit now. Actually, thank you very much, Babs, for this. Thank you very much for this. Actually, I would say that none of the jobs now are CPU intensive, but for example, I do generate a sitemap that you could say is intensive relative to, because to generate a sitemap, I need to fetch all the resources of courses, meetups, and articles. Then we write that into, like using a stream, into a file, right? So you could say I already see that as being something that could be using this. I think this is awesome, man. Thank you very much for sending this. I had no idea about this, to be honest with you. So that is very, very good. And this is probably, yeah. So and this, yeah, so it's using worker threads. That's what I use Hetzner, and I use my home server as well. I mean, I have my my mini data center at home. You can actually take a look at it here. But yes, I use Hetzner, but I also use, this is the guide that I'm writing on it. So I'm still using a bit of Hetzner, but typically note this is my setup. I have everything documented, but I have 3 mini PCs and 4 Raspberry Pis running as a cluster. So yeah, so I'm basically moving all of my services to my home, as I call it, mini home data center. So yes, but still some things are hosted in Hetzner. How do you... That is a very broad question, my friend. That is a very broad question. If you don't know much about networking and about... Well, essentially it's all about networking, right? So essentially the only thing that's exposed out of my network here are 2 ports, 80 and 4043. And then I have an ingress controller traffic in front that handles all the services, and you know, that is basically a default ingress controller as well for Kubernetes. But how do you deal with security? Security is a very, very broad concept, and security spans from layer 1, you could say, to layer 7. So I could speak about that for a very long time. But security comes in many shapes and forms, right? So, but typically, yeah, you expose as little, no matter if you're building a full-fledged data center or your own, is, you know, you always want to expose as little as you possibly can, right? So there's many ways, and I might write all of that stuff one day, but typically, yeah, in this scenario here, you just expose the very minimum, right? Yes, Ingress, the Ingress traffic is the default Ingress controller for Kubernetes, yes. So you expose basically, essentially, only your Ingress to the outer world, and then that guy handles the services that, you know, if I go to this domain, well, you know, send the user there, right? Let's actually discuss this a little bit with AI, because this is a very good tip. Do you think this would be more suited for generation of our sitemap? I mean, right now it won't matter, right? But if in theory, right? Okay, fair enough. Hey man, I'm struggling to understand the design decision in React. Should a React component expose all props of the element it wraps? For example, if my component internally renders a div or form, it's good practice to forward all HTML props so the parent can override styles or attach event handlers. Or should I keep the API strict and only add props like... Well, I mean, that is... No, I mean, the thing is... Okay, so let's... It's a good question, right? Let's discuss it. Very good question. Let's just discuss it. I can maybe help you... Maybe... think about that a little bit differently. And I'm gonna say something that might sound silly, and you know it and stuff. So, but bear with me. I just need to kind of create a situation so we can discuss it. So when we talk about components, right? And I'm gonna try to be very general just to prove my point. So when we talk about components, right? Or functions, they're the same thing. Component is just a function, right? So whichever name we use, it doesn't matter. And because they're just functions, in the left we call it props, in the right we call it arguments or properties or whatever. Like function takes function arguments, right? So, but again, fundamentally, a component is literally and absolutely literally just a function. Just because you see some JSX, that's just the abstraction. But underneath, it's like, you know, it's like whatever, react.create elements, and then, you know, it takes something, whatever. I don't remember the bare minimum API. And, you know, because components are just functions, that tells us something about your question, right? Because now imagine that we're not thinking about components, but that we're thinking about functions. Then of course you want to keep functions clean, right? So, I mean, you want to also keep your components clean. So your goal is always to have small units that can compose bigger units, right? So that means that less props a component gets, the better, right? Because that means you're building components which are very specific to what they do. So think about a function double, right? This function takes a number and doubles it, right? So this would yield 4. So this is a pure function, takes, based on the input, the same input, it always returns the same output. So it's a pure function, right? So you should think about components in the same way. How can I build my components and focus them to only handle the UI and not other things? So for the sake of their simplicity, I can then combine them. Imagine this is a view. Some people call it pages, but I refuse to use that name. There's no such thing a page in a single page application. In a SPA, there's only one page. That's why it's called single page app. So things are typically called views, not pages, right? So I'll call them views for the sake of this. So as you build your components, you know, you want to make sure that they're as reusable as possible. And this sounds actually silly and funny, like, oh, Alex, everybody knows this. But I'm sure that many of you in this very chat failed miserably with this, right? Because people have a very hard time understanding what a prop is and should be. So for example, I've seen countless components and functions in my career where people pass is authenticated, let's say, to a button or to a drawer, right? So they have a component called drawer, and this drawer is authenticated prop, right? It's like, that makes no sense, man. Why would you do that? Well, the reason why people do that is because they don't design their interfaces, their contracts properly. Because the reason why John Doe has passed is authenticated to a component is because inside a drawer, he wants to be able to say, is drawer opened, is authenticated, right? So this is a huge, yeah. So in this context, right, this drawer clearly shouldn't be taking a bit logic that it's not concerned about. Drawer shouldn't really know anything about if user is logged in or whatever. Drawer should know it's the UI state. So of course, if you then think about it, it's like, yeah, well, is opened, right? So this would be a proper prop on the level of that component, and then you can say is authenticated, right? So this is how you design components, right? You ensure that they know only about UI stuff and not your business logic. Like your components cannot know about which role the user is user authenticated, or anything to do with your domain knowledge almost at all. So your components should be clean and simple and stuff. So going back to your original question, hey, should I like pass everything down? Of course not, right? So you should, again, as I said, pass as little as possible. So if you have because what you asked is this, hey Alex, I have this is what you kind of asked. Let me show you. So you're like, Alex, I have my own React button that wraps native HTML button. This guy, right? And you're saying, hey, should my abstraction over this button, you know, take every single possible prop that native button supports? And of course not. That would be, you know, absolutely terrible, right? So doesn't matter what you wrap, right? You want to this is your component, not the internals, right? So when your developers are using your functions, aka components, you want to expose the things that this component is doing, not what it could be doing one day. Because your question is rather, what if one day somebody has to pass here, you know, whatever, something else, area, whatever. Well, then you go and you update the component, right? Anyway, I think these discussions about design of functions are very important, because that is the most important skill for programmers, designing functions, right? If you suck at discrete math, or you could say, or if you're terrible at designing functions, then your code typically is gonna suck. That means your UI code, your front end, your back end is also gonna suck. So, and these things we're discussing have nothing to do with UI or anything like that. This is basics of programming and basics of functional programming, of function currying and the function composition and stuff like that. So again, that's why I say treat your components just as functions, because what they are, and then more so focus on trying to make these as, you know, as pure as possible, right? So less state you can have in them, less mutations, less side effects, less whatever. Easier it is for these visual components to just do what they are intended to do, what they're made for, and they're made for representing things on the screen, right? So that's really what these little guys are supposed to be doing. They should just be showing something on the screen. So yeah, keep the props minimal and keep the props logical. Of course, Steve. My pleasure. Give me 1 second. My wife is calling me. All right, but very good, guys. I'll need to leave in a minute. Let's see if you guys have any other questions, because yeah, I need to prepare my kids for sleep. Just note, while we are discussing architecture of things and stuff, never underestimate the fundamental basics and principles of programming. Today these skills matter more than ever. So now with the AI, you saw my stream today, you see I generate a lot of things with AI, but I can do that because I know system design, I know how to write code, I've been doing that for a long time, and now I can delegate my cognitive power onto designing things and using this regex on steroids to generate strings and text for me, because I can't beat a computer in speed. Nobody can be writing code faster than a computer, right? So that's why these discussions, like how should I do this, how should I pass these things, they're very important, because they do define you fundamentally as an engineer, because these are core principles that are timeless, as you can say. They will apply on every tool that you use, every framework, every language, every runtime. Doesn't matter if you're going to be writing embedded programming, C or Rust, or building web apps. These principles always apply. So that's why it's important to, probably more than ever, to focus on system design, on software architecture and stuff, and not which language, what library, nobody cares. Just the very core principles of how do you make code simple. So a little bit of domain-driven design, a little bit of these types of things is going to get you a long way, because then you can kind of treat things as subsystems and subsystems of subsystems, right? So this is the biggest value that you can get, is focusing on these things. Saga AI, I'm very good. I need to go, unfortunately. I wish you came sooner to the stream, but I need to go and prepare my kids for bed, and then spend some time with my wife. So that is why also I streamed a bit today, maybe not too long, but yeah. That's what it is, my friends. Thank you very much for coming, as always. What can I say? I had fun. Hopefully you also did some as well, some of you at least. And I'll if you want to know when I'm gonna stream, and if you have a minute, please go and just follow this. Like enroll into this meetup, and then every time I organize a new event, you will get a notification on email. So yeah, my pleasure. And I'll see you guys another time. Peace out, everybody. Bye bye. Bye bye. Likewise.